Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, old and young friends. Thank you for coming to participating the IEI and QNAP New Product Launch and Press Conference. It's my pleasure to be your MC for today. 2018 is the new era of AI for QNAP and IEI. So, QNAP and IEI, based on the 20 years of working in the industrial computer field, which integrated the software and hardware to develop the highly compatible inference server and deep learning server as an AI solution. Therefore, today, the deep learning platform is the highlight that you must pay close attention to. Now it's my pleasure to introduce you the IEI Director of Project Manager, Don, and also the QNAP Product Manager, Amo, to present the next level to give you more details. Please put your hands together to welcome Don and Amo.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dong Yu, and I'm the Senior Director of the IEI Product Management Division.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Amol. I work as a product manager with QNAP, and today we are bringing this exciting product, or I will say product line around AI to introduce to all of you. I hope you will get a lot of exciting information about AI and AI-related products that QNAP and IEI are jointly launching today. So, Don, the future is AI.
Yeah, future is coming right now. So what's the new stuff you are going to introduce to us?
Yes, so everyone is saying AI is the future and AI, the next big thing is already here. And today, with this presentation, our goal is to show you the tremendous possibilities or tremendous business opportunities that you can have with AI and AI-related products. Because so far, everybody is talking about AI as a research domain, but no, it's in the mainstream. And how you can build your business around AI and what products we have for you. That's what is the focus of today's presentation. So this will be agenda for today. We'll start with AI, of course, what is AI, and then we'll move to our product that we're launching called QAI, which is QNAP's AI developer platform. And then we will talk about why QNAP NAS is ideal device for AI as a platform. And next part is our business, so I think Don can explain about it.
Yep, sure. And I will following to introduce what business opportunity will be boosted quickly in the near future of the AI with the AI. And in the end, we will introduce IEI and QNAP's offering for the AI.
So every company, every other big player in the industry is coming up with some sort of product, services, or platform around AI. That's why it makes sense for us to be familiar with it, and it makes sense for QNAP and IEI to dive into this domain. So with that, we are bringing this AI product line to you. But going ahead, first, I think we need to know what is AI. So in short, AI is nothing but a branch of science which deals with the fact that how we can make machines work and think like human beings. Well, that's pretty huge segment. But if you drill down into AI, one of the major division of AI is machine learning. So in machine learning, what happens is you have somebody called data scientist who identifies some of the features of around the problems that is solving. So for example, you are solving a facial identification problem, then the data scientist will try to map the features of a face like eyes and stuff like that into a mathematical formula. He will feed it into the algorithm, and algorithm will process that formula, and thus you need human intervention in machine learning. So in other words, machine learning capabilities are limited by human capabilities. So the next part of this is deep learning. Deep learning is a division of machine learning, and it exponentially picked up after 2010. So what happens in deep learning? The human factor is almost negligible, or as minimal as it can be. In deep learning, what we do is we use tremendous amount of compute power, and we provide a huge data set, a labeled data set to this compute power. On top of that, we will have various algorithms, and these algorithms get trained by this data. These algorithms are able to extract the features with this data, and thus here the human factor is minimum. So in today's presentation, our focus will be on deep learning and how you can have various deep learning applications on top of QNAP NAS and IEI products.
Yeah.
So Don, do you know about QAI?
Actually, I'm eager to know because it's since the very exciting products come from QNAP, right?
I hope so. So QAI is our first AI developer platform. And what does that mean for you is it is designed for developers. It is not designed for end consumer. So you need to know programming. That is the first thing. Second thing, what you can do with QAI is you can build, you can train, and you can fine tune your deep learning models on top of QNAP NAS. After you have achieved expected success with this training and tuning of your model, you can deploy that model and you can use it as an application on top of QNAP NAS. So you can build your AI deep learning models, and at the same time, you can run the applications with that on the QNAP NAS. So that's QAI, which is your only platform on QNAP NAS for AI application development. So let's see who is it for. As I said, first target is engineers, various engineers who are working to solve various difficult problems. Besides that, data scientists. This category of customers or users are one of the primary targets for QAI. And then, of course, students who are learning, who want to write their first AI application. So these are the users or target users who we are intending for AI to be used. Now, let's see how the whole life cycle of a deep learning application development works. So primarily, I will divide into two sections. One is training and second is inference. So in training, what happens is the data scientists collect huge amount of data, labeled data, and this data is given to selected algorithms. Again, these algorithms consume this data at tremendous speed, and they try to extract very, very minute features out of it. And thus, this neural network get trained itself. And this is a recursive process. After you train your model, you check what is the accuracy. And if accuracy is not up to the mark, again, we have to change the data set or change the labels or maybe change some of the algorithms or fine-tune some of the parameters of your algorithms. After doing this iterative phase, you will have successful model. Then this model can be deployed and a sample input data can be fed to this model. And from that, you may collect some results. So if your application is for, say, face detection, then you give a picture to this model and it will predict the region where face is located. So that's how it works. Now, this was about the whole life cycle, but let's see which infrastructure is being used to do these operations. So for training, primarily right now, there are two different sections of infrastructures which are being used. First is public cloud platforms. So the public cloud platforms like Amazon, Azure, Google, these are one of the primary cloud platforms which are being used. If not cloud platforms, then there are various workstations or private data centers which are being used. So these workstations are complemented with something called accelerators like Google TPU and so on. So this is the infrastructure that is being used as of now for training. And for inference, it can be as simple as your mobile device. It can be as simple as some embedded box or some gateway. You may complement it with FPGA or GPU based on the application, but it's not always required. So now you have seen these are the hardwares, or this is the infrastructure which is being used for AI as of now. And now we will show how you can replace all this with single QNAP NAS or single IEI device to get training as well as inference done. Yeah. So Don, how does this whole architecture looks?
Yeah, this is lots of English. Very special one. Most of them I can read it, I can speaking that, but I don't know how it can works.
Yeah. So the goal of showing this whole architecture diagram is to show you the complexity around developing a deep learning application.
Yeah.
if you have to write your own application, you may need to take care of so many frameworks, libraries, and various platforms. But we are here to simplify how you use this one. So, because after saying all this, your question will be, how can I start? How can I start with my first AI application? But because it looks very complicated. But that's the goal. That's the goal of QAI, wherein you will not have to face all these complexities. We will make it simple for you. And with few clicks, you will have your all frameworks ready and set for you to write your first application. But before starting, let's see, if you have to have a successful deep learning application, you need to have these three aspects in the right perspective. The first is data, second is compute, and third is algorithms. You need to have huge rightly labeled data. Okay, and to manage this data, QNAP NAS with its various technologies like QTR, SSD cache can help you. For compute, in deep learning applications, as you need to consume huge data, you need to have huge compute. So you may leverage various QNAP models with some high-end configurations which are built on some of the highest performance SoCs like CPUs like Xeon grade CPUs. Then algorithms. You may have to choose the right algorithm. These algorithms are demanding, so you may have to complement them with some FPGA or graphics cards. When you have all these three placed in the right perspective, your chances of having a successful deep learning application are higher. Now, before going ahead, let's see what are the main pain points for current developers who are developing their AI applications, or data scientists who are developing their AI, applications. Primarily, we'll talk about data scientists because they are the ones who are working on this kind of problems most of the times. So currently, what they use is they have some centralized server. They use their computers, PCs as the terminals, and they have some kind of basic networking. But in all this, they face a lot of problems. First is they will always have limitations on the compute and storage. Next is data scientists are scientists who are good in mathematics, but they are not necessarily good in computing. They might not know what is driver, what is NVIDIA GPU driver, what is container, what is GPU pass-through. So these kind of complex technologies they may not understand. And last but not least, they lack some of the basic IT related knowledge related to IT infrastructure like backup sharing, network configurations, and so on. So to avoid all this, we are bringing a single point solution, that is QAI. So you have QNAP NAS and you install QAI, and we take care of all these problems for you. So that's how we will try to solve the main pain points of data scientists. Now, what makes QAI possible? Why QAI is able to deliver all the required computational requirements that are needed for the AI application development? Because QTS now supports graphics cards. But you will say, what's great about it? It was already supporting. It was already supported, but it was only for virtualization station. But now, various applications on QNAP NAS can leverage the same graphics card. For example, if you have any application running on container station, the container station can leverage graphics card. Your SD station, your Linux station can leverage graphics card. So we heavily leverage container station for QAI. So every framework that is running as a container in container station can leverage graphics card, and thus this helps our deep learning application to speed up its operation. Now, why GPU is important? Because everybody is talking about GPU and graphics card. So this is a glimpse of the comparison between CPU and GPU. So what happens is in a deep learning application, we are injecting huge data. So you need tremendous amount of parallel computing capabilities. But a CPU can only offer you 4, 8, or 16 cores, which is not enough. On the contrary, GPU offers around thousands and thousands of cores, which are which can be definitely useful for deep learning application. And that's why GPUs are gaining more popularities day by day. And that's why graphics card plays very important role in QAI. Now, which various hardware solutions are suitable for various applications? That is the next question, and Don here will explain you.
Okay, so in this slide, actually, you can easier to see we divide the whole currently the AI application, hardware application into four concepts. So in the x-axis, you can see there's two AI application. One is called the inference, another one is training. And in the y-axis, you can see the location what the device will be going. The top side is edge and device field side, and the downside is cloud and the data center. So most of the number will be generated, especially in the edge and the inference part, because as you well know, nowadays it's not only the PC can carry on the AI function and feature on that, but also including your cell phone and all the devices. So we can foresee that should be the very big giant, giant domain in this market, such like the NVIDIA, like Intel. The Intel, they also acquire the Altera, so currently they have an Intel FPGA card, and also including the more video solutions. And also we can foresee there's more and more AI IC will be launched very soon this year, such like Capricorn is one of the China startup company who are providing the AI ASIC IC to the Huawei, already implement inside of the Huawei's cell phone right now. Okay, so move on to the training part. You can see still in here, you can see the NVIDIA FPGA and also Intel CPUs. And the most special one is, of course, everyone is looking for this concept. Because cloud and training still the biggest market, especially will be generate a lot of compute over there. So in this concept, you can see the NVIDIA still one of the big major vendor. And of course, FPGA we can have an Intel and also more higher one, which is provided by the Xilinx. And the CPU can have a Xeon or even more higher performance like Xeon 3. Or even though like GPU, like Google's TPU. So this is roughly the currently AI how we're making at this moment.
Thank you, Don. Now, having seen the various hardware SoCs that you can use, let's go again to QAI. So, what's the QAI architecture and how we have architected the QAI? So, at the base, we have QNAP NAS. We have announced specific models which support QAI. So, any one of those models can be at the base. It can be topped up by QTS. We support QTS 4.3.4 and above are going to support QAI. On top of that, there is container station. So container station 1.8 or above will support QAI. And on top of container station, we have hosted various containers or various AI frameworks in the form of containers. So these are customized. We have done some small customizations and wrapped around a container and provided all these frameworks such as TensorFlow, MXNet, Neon, Cafe2, Microsoft CNTK, CUDA, and PyTorch. So it is as simple as you can go to container station, select the framework of your choice, and just launch that container. And that framework is already set for you to write your first AI application. So with all this, at the base is NVIDIA graphics card. Right now, we only support NVIDIA graphics cards, but we are committed to support more accelerators, such as maybe some of the Intel FPGAs and some other graphics cards like AMD graphics cards. So we will come with those accelerator cards soon, but as of now, we only support NVIDIA graphics cards for QAI. Now, these are 5 steps with which you can quickly start. So first step is, of course, you go to our App Center, find QAI, and install that app, and you have QAI set on your NAS. Then, second thing is you insert compatible graphics card because QAI will explain you which compatible graphics cards we have as of now. Then after you install this graphics card, you install number 3 is install the drivers. So as we support NVIDIA graphics cards only, we have NVIDIA graphics cards in the form of an application in our App Store. So just find that app and install, and all the NVIDIA graphics card drivers will be set on your NAS. And fourth is you need to set a particular graphics card or GPU to container station so that that graphics card will be utilized by container station. And last but not least, fifth, select a particular framework that you want to launch, run its container or launch its container, and you have your own AI framework ready to go. This is just a glimpse of our AI QAI solution. As you can see here, we can support multiple graphics cards, and each graphics card's various parameters can be seen, such as graphics card utilization, memory utilization, temperature, fan speed, and so on. Also, at the left-hand side, you can see various frameworks, AI frameworks that we support. You may select any one of those and launch a container out of it. So that's our QAI. Now, third most important point, why QNAP NAS is suitable for AI. Is it the best suitable platform for AI? Before answering that, let's try to compare some of the pros and cons of existing platforms. So, as I said, if not QNAP NAS, then you will either end up using high performance workstations or public cloud platforms. So, what are the cons in all those both platforms? So, first is high performance workstations are very expensive. So, your total cost of ownership is very high. And if your business plan changes, your business idea changes after some time, that's just a liability for you. That's a very high risk liability for you. Number two is public clouds. Public clouds, you have to pay every month. So this involves a lot of recurring costs. And for any business, not knowing what your next bill will be coming is a risk. So many customers feel that it's a risk. Number two, many times some of the sensitive industries, such as not industries or domains such as hospitals or governments, they are not interested in putting their data on public cloud, just simply because of the privacy reasons. Although these public clouds claim that they are one of the most secure platforms, still many customers want some kind of private solution, private cloud solution. So that's where QNAP NAS comes into the picture. With QAI on top of that, we provide you private AI training platform or AI training platform on your private cloud. So that's why we think QNAP NAS is one of the most suitable alternative to these two. And besides that, there are some more features which I will like to highlight. So first is, of course, low investments. Second is the fast. It's very fast, so that you don't have to spend a lot of time in configuring it. Third is QNAP NAS is primarily a storage device, right? And in deep learning application, you need huge data. You need to manage huge data to train your models. So why not use the device which is designed to manage huge data, which is QNAP NAS? That's one of the analogy. Number four is high IOPS. Some of the deep learning application are power hungry or IOPS hungry. They need very high throughput. So for that, you leverage some of the technologies we have, such as SSD cache. So that comes into the right place for these applications. Fifth is security. At QNAP, we give maximum priority to security, and our aim always is to make sure how we do everything to protect your data. That's why we take a pride in the fact that QNAP NAS is one of the most secure storage device. And for AI, it makes sense because your trained models, the models that you spend a lot of money, time, and efforts to train, are not secured because there is no proven technology which can define how you can protect your models. Because simply I can take your model and I can use it. There is no way to protect it. Even there is no standard encryption available for the models. Second reason can be some hacker may damage your model. So that's why security comes into the picture. And as we say, QNAP NAS is one of the most secure device. It is rightly placed at there. Last but not least, QTS. QTS is our stable operating system, on which we have worked for a decade now, and we are still perfecting it. But as of now, it is one of the most powerful and stable platform that you can have for AI application development on QNAP NAS. On the other side, QTS comes with the App Store, and we have huge set of applications because we want you to give more reasons to use our QNAP NAS. So we have a lot of applications, and these applications are creating huge data. So why not use the data created by these applications, which is rightly available in your QNAP NAS for training your deep learning models? That's one more reason for you to use QNAP NAS. So thus, we feel that this is an ideal platform for AI, and you must try it. Next is various applications that you can have with QAI. I would like to say, in short, that right now, actually, AI is trying to penetrate in every aspect of life. So the domain of AI is quite huge. But if I have to name few, these are some of the divisions or some of the areas where AI or QAI can be meaningful. The first is machine learning. Second is NLP, natural language processing. Third is speech. It can be speech to text or text to speech. Then vision, which can handle image recognition, machine vision, and last but not least, robotics. So these are some of the primary focus, some of the application areas where you can use QAI. Now, next is business opportunities with AI. So we would like to focus on some of the major verticals, and Don can explain more about it. Don?
Yeah, actually, this the most key vertical about the AI will be boosted in the next few months. Okay, the data is come from IDC in 2017. So the first biggest market should be in the healthcare. So this is the first part we want to highlight. Actually, later on, the AMO will be give you more real cases, usage case introduction later. And second is security. Of course, the surveillance security is always the major for the whole economy, especially like the country like China. And okay, the third one is factory automation. Of course, this is a word I like from because we are the worldwide leading industrial PC provider. So we are aware and well know about this know-how in this field. And also including the retail, robotic HE, and also biometrics. Yeah. So why not, Amo, you can give us some more detailed idea, use as a case for the AI.
Sure, we can start with healthcare. In fact, in this section, I would like to focus more on healthcare. So, before going ahead, I would like to just explain a little bit about healthcare. So, QNAP is already working with many customers on the real projects in this domain. And here we are just showcasing one of the projects that we are working on. And we are getting quite good success and a lot of interest in the healthcare domain. So this will give you an idea of what all things you can do in healthcare. So let's see how AI can be utilized in healthcare. So first, what can be its purpose? So its purpose can be diagnostic support. We don't want to replace doctor because that's not possible, right? But we want to make their life easier. They are always tired. They are always work hard. So why not give them the tools which will facilitate their life and it will make their life more easy, right? So that's what we are trying to do here. But to do that, which various data sources can be utilized? So the data sources can be medical images such as OCTs, MRI scans, and so on. Some of the physiological data can be also utilized to propose some of the applications in this domain. Now, this is one of the case in which we are working on. The problem that we are addressing is called aged macular degeneration. Well, that's a scientific name, but in short, it is the fact that when a person ages, he may have blindness or he may have blurred vision, right? And a study shows that last year around 6.5 million people, or even more than that, have been affected by this problem all over the world. Now, what we are trying to do is, what if we are able to predict in advance that somebody may get this problem, right? So if we can predict that, you may take some corrective actions, you may take some advanced treatment, and thus it may help you, right? So in this section, what happens is doctor scans your retina, and this retina scan is given to our program, and our program can detect one of the four stages. So one of the four stages can be normal, inactivate, activate, and drusen. These are specific medical terms, but the drusen is the final stage. That is, it's more complicated, and you have that disease right now. And the normal means you don't have probability to get it, right? So this is basic domain about this application, and let's see how it works. So what we have done is we have collected lots of retina scans from real doctors. these are labeled images. That means doctors have labeled the areas and the problem areas where in the specific images, right? So these images were fed to our specific model on which our engineers have worked. And this model, deep learning model, got trained with these images. And now we are able to predict one of the 4 stages of this disease from a sample retinal scan image. So, number 1 stage in this is the doctor will take retinal scan of a person. Then it will be fed to something called DICOM server. We have another product called QPAX, which is our DICOM server solution on top of QNAP NAS, which will be coming soon. Now, from this DICOM server, all the images are consumed by our deep learning model. And then after the model is trained, we deploy it on the field side. So in the number 3, the stage 3 is actually an edge device or the field device. This device will be located in the hospital near the doctor. And when the doctor will give a sample, a scan image of a new patient, the model will be able to predict one of the 4 stages. That's the complete flow. But at the same time, this is a recursive process because doctors will keep scanning the eyes and will keep getting more images, and our model will keep training itself. Thus, we'll be able to improve our accuracy day by day. Right now, we are able to achieve 96% accuracy, which is significant in this area, but our goal is more than 99% or even 100% if it's possible. So that's the solution we are proposing in this section and in this domain, and this is our real project in which we are working. Now let's see more deeply like how exactly this works. So there are primarily 3 stages in this in which our algorithm works. So first stage is detection of the fact that is there any disease or no. So this is just a true false kind of situation. That's why this requires low compute power. Here you don't need to complement with higher computational power, right? So here the result can be either normal, like first image is normal, second image is activate. So this will result in whether you have disease or you don't have disease. Now, next stage is a little bit complicated. Here, we'll try to identify the problem area if the problem exists, right? So in the second image, you can see we were able to identify the specific areas where the disease has been located, right? So this phase requires high compute. So we recommend to have higher configuration of the NAS as well as complement it with some graphics card or some kind of accelerator card like Mustang 200 or so on. Next and third and most complicated phase is marking the exact region of the problem. So as you can see in the second image, we have marked exact region where the symptoms exist, right? So this is the most compute hungry process and this requires highest level of compute. So we recommend to go for higher end of QNAP model or IEI devices and also complement it with a graphics card. So this is how this application works. I'm pretty sure this is just one disease, one problem area we are sorting out, right? So in healthcare, there are n number of such kind of problems, n number of areas which still are yet to be addressed or yet to be resolved. So that's the kind of possibilities we have in each of these segments. Now, next case is security or surveillance. Don?
Yep. And of course, as I mentioned previously, surveillance will be the second big boost market for the AI application. Of course, nowadays, I bet everyone knew there's many of the camera putting on the street, putting in a store, department store, just setting a lot of the camera in the whole worldwide. And actually, camera is one of most important device which can grab data from to the data center. So we can foresee there's many of the application of the AI will be happen based on the camera captured image. So in these cases, we already seen some AI application done in current surveillance applications, such like face recognition, object detection, and also codification. But we can see more and more AI concept will be building into the surveillance market, especially something like behavior detection. For example, when the camera setting up inside of store, department store, there's a big store. They were selling lots of stuff, goods over there. So it will be can probably in the near future will be have a some side to detecting the people, analyze his behavior, her behavior, to marking is how much percentage will he steal something inside of the store. So this is a one of the very interesting case what we are solving and we are developing right now. And another one is something like a counter on the street, and all the behavior detection will be putting more and more into the future security and surveillance applications. Yep.
Thank you, Don. That's pretty interesting domain. So we have seen healthcare, we have seen security, and thus this is a complete analysis of all various domains that we are talking about. And this will give you idea that what all things you can do with this domain, in this domain with AI. So we have seen healthcare. In healthcare, disease classification, symptoms detection, problem area detection. Then in security, people recognition, alarm or intrusion detection, fire, smoke detection, suspicious activity detection, and so on. Then retail is one of the major sector which can be addressed. Some of the examples are like crowd flow analysis. This is very important for the shopping malls or retail solutions. Like you need to know where customers are going maximum number of times, based on which you can design your strategies. Factory automation, one of the important segment where AI can be used is defect detection. When your factory assembly line or manufacturing line is going on with the speed of, say, multiple products per second, you need very high compute power and high level of accuracy to detect defects in such a high speed, right? So only AI can deliver you that kind of speed and accuracy. Again, robotics and AGV, auto-guided vehicles, that is one of the area where AI we think is very important. Then medical, biomedical. Biomedical is the field I think that is still developing its own AI capabilities, and I think this is one of the field which has tremendous potential where AI can be used. So besides this, there are many other like traffic, weather, and as I said, every aspect of life is touched by AI nowadays. So the possibilities are tremendous. Now, after seeing various verticals where you can use AI, I would like to present some of the products which are right fitted for a particular case in a particular scenario for training or inference. I have to tell you, I cannot give you exact answer like, okay, which NAS you have to use for training or inference, because it will depend on what problem you are solving. What is the complexity? What is the speed requirements of it? So what we are doing is we are trying to give you a reference of suggestions for various cases. For example, in this slide, we are trying to give you suggestions for data analytics case. So if you consider data analytics and if you want to have training, if you want to do training, then some of the models that we recommend are 7782, 77X, and 77XU. We are calling it entry level, but mind it, it is a high-end model. But in this case, it is entry level for the training type of application. This may not be requiring any NVIDIA graphics card or any accelerator. Then in advanced model for training, you can go for x85, or one of the new model we are launching soon is 2888X. This is going to be a beast for AI because it will support multiple graphics card, and it's going to be like a tower device where you can put a lot of graphic card. So this is definitely designed for towards AI, and is coming soon. Then you can go for x85U or 16489U. Because this is advanced case that we are considering, so you may have to complement with some of the accelerator. But again, that depends on the case. About inference, at entry level, we are recommending 51B, 53B, 53BE, and 53B, these three models. But these are our latest offerings, so we are highlighting here. But ideally, you can use many other smaller models from QNAP for this case. And in inference section for advanced case, you may go for x77 or x82 models from IEI, from QNAP. And at the same time, for specific industrial usage, you may go for IEI's Tank 860 or 870 because Tank comes with QTS and hence it can support QAI on top of it. In this case, you may have to complement with some of the graphics cards, but again, that depends on the case. So this is the case where we are suggesting these models for data analytics. Next is image classification. This is a level up. So here you might need to have accelerators. So these are various models. I'm not going through each of this. This is just for your reference. And the third category, which is the most complicated category, I will say, is image segmentation. So these are the suggested models that we have. All this information will be on our website and it will be there for your reference. So you can take reference of this. Now, so far we have seen all the offerings which were with QTS and which were having capability to run QAI. But we do have many bare metal solutions from IEI, which do not come with QTS, but you may set up your own software stack on those bare metal solutions and thus have your own AI developer platform on that. So Don here will explain you all those bare metal solutions from IEI. Thank you.
Okay, so start on this slide, and I will introduce to you the solutions of the IEI solution for the AI. So as I mentioned, there's two main applications of the AI. One is training, another one is inference. In this slide, actually, we will be making what we will introduce our customer here is we have a new solution called the QNAP. It's dedicated design for the training purpose. And we also have several inference AI inference system for the industrial purpose. Of course, like Amos mentioned, all the IEI hardware devices can be adopted the QTS. So based on the QTS, we can have the QuAl apps to run in all the AI application. So of course, some of the customers still looking for the bare metal application. So such like we have IIS hardware. So based on the IIS hardware, we can build up the Linux on top of that. And on top of Linux, we can have a Docker, and we can launch different kinds of the framework. So still, IIS hardware still can offer more flexibility, especially customers, they want to have another option to do the AI training. And first of all, we want to special highlight here, especially in the IEI's AI inference system, which is Tank. Actually, the Tank 870 is already also selected by Intel as AIoT dev kit will be promoting it worldwide with Intel. So this is one is very quite small and tiny, fulfill different kinds of rugged environment. And can support minus 40 to 50 degrees C. The special thing in here is you may see there's all the IEI inference system and training system definitely will have the PCI Express core slot. The main reason is currently Intel still dominate all the CPU world, but all the AI will be accelerated and compute by some ADAM card like NVIDIA, like FPGA. So we will specially introduce Tank to Intel as mainly we can offer two PCI Express and make it very, very, very small and tiny for different kinds of application of the AI, such like the facial recognition, object detection, and also the machine learning as well. And here's another two solutions we want to introduce with customer today. The one is Ring 500 AI, and we were adopting the latest Intel technology, which is Intel CPU. And on Backplane, we can have more options. For example, you can have a one PCI Express by 16 and one PCI Express by 4. Or you can have a 2 by 8 and 1 by 4. It depends on auto detecting. Once customer have two PCI Express slot, add them in the by 16 slot, will be auto detecting. And another one is more compact, more small sizes. This is PEC 400 AI. And PEC 400 AI will be adopting currently the Skylake platform. And we can have a 1516 and 154. So whatever the AI related cloud like NVIDIA Tesla, like Intel FPGA or Intel Mobius, or even though more and more like AMD cloud, we can support all the different kinds of. And for the training, of course, training still, the customer will be looking for the three big elements: speed, how fast, how high performance speed we can provide. The second is memory. The third is, of course, PCI Express slot. And this is a new platform we're going to introduce during the Computex this year. It's called PeMux. So we define a totally new standard for a full-size SPC, which can be generated totally 72 PCI Express nets from the golden finger to the backplane. So through this structure, we can offer more flexibility for customers to fulfill their demands for the AI training applications. So let's see how we achieve this goal. So first one we choose that is Intel Xeon family's mainstream product called Xeon W. So Xeon W is a two-chip solution of the Intel Xeon family. And of course, since it's a server-grade CPUs, so if you're looking for the CPU itself, we can offer up to the 48 PCI Express nets. And look at this is Gen 3, Gen 2. For the PCH, the C422 can offer up to 24 PCI Express nets. So totally 48 plus 24 is 72. So that's a new reason why we can auto for the PeMux platform we can offer up to 72 PCI Express net. Another key picture right here is for up to 512 gigabytes memory. So when you do the training, you definitely need to put a lot of data into your system to accelerate the call. So between that, you need the big capacity of the memory to store the data you want to aggregate. And another one is CPUs. So since this is a Xeon CPU, we can support start on the quad-core, 8-core, 10-core, 12-core, and up to 80-core. So each core has a hyper-threading feature. So, for example, the 80-core total can have the 36 CPU pipeline, CPU storage pipeline. So depends on customer demand, they can choose even though quad-core, but still with very high-end PCI Express 560 and also the memory support of that. And of course, this slide will be showing the background what we designed right now. And you can see in my right-hand side figure is showing the PCI Express 560. Actually, we totally have 4 PCI Express 560, depends on our design. Of course, if a customer, they need some other configuration, then we just need to modify the backplane. Don't need to modify redesign whole system. So this is the key information we want to deliver to the customer. We can customize for customers based on the customer's need. And of course, we also demonstrate the QuAl C422 during the Computex this year. And another key sector of the AI is what I mentioned about is AI accelerator part. Of course, NVIDIA still donate most of the AI accelerator part because they can offer more GPU, more CPU, more GPU core inside of the GPU. But still, there's another big IT giant also trying to providing their best solution to try to enlarge their market share of the AI. So in here, we have three different kinds of solution will be coming out very soon. And first one, allow me to introduce is the Mustang 200. Actually, this product is launched in last. And we, with the PCI Express 5.4 contains with 2 CPU inside of that, so we can do something like decentralized computing for the AI application. And the second one is one of the another method to achieve the AI accelerate, which is Intel FPGA core. Then this is the one based on Intel Area 10 GX. And the third one is BQ card, and it's called the Mustang B100 MX8. And now, so since we present the QNAP software solution, also including IES hardware solutions, so why not we can have some demo to show our customers.
Sure, Don. So today for demo, I'm going to demonstrate the same healthcare case which we talked about aged AMD. In this case, what we have done is we have designed the sample application where you can have 4 different options to select. One is CPU, one is CPU with acceleration, third is GPU with acceleration. So this is onboard GPU. And the last one is external GPU. The goal here is to showcase how various platforms or one of these choices can give you different performances, and how the performance gradually increases with respect to the images processed per second. Again, the case here is same. We will be feeding multiple retinal scans to our our model, which is running in an application, and our model will be able to predict one of the 4 cases, whether that disease is probable or not, or you are normal, or it is already there. Just to show you the performance, we are giving a lot of images, but in real case, doctor will be giving one image at a time to this program. So let's start with GPU first, because that's going to give you the highest performance. So this is my external GPU. We are using NVIDIA 1050 graphics card here. So you can see we are able to process around 41 frames per second. And each of these images, I will just stop it for some time. So each of these color codes give one of the stages that it has detected. So for example, this one is normal, and this red one is the last stage, and accordingly other color codes. So let's change to GPU with acceleration. So this is our onboard GPU, and we are using OpenVINO, Intel's OpenVINO library to accelerate the total performance. So you can see now here we are getting around 28 frames per second. So the performance is going down from 41 to 28 because this is an onboard GPU with acceleration. Now let's see CPU with acceleration. So this is an Intel CPU. So the approximate rates we are getting is around 5-6 frames per second. And I'll go to pure CPU. So this is pure Intel CPU. We have not used any acceleration or accelerator library for this. And the kind of performance you will get is, you can see.
So Amo, you are using the i5 CPU or i7 CPU?
Yeah, this is i5 now.
This is
i5, yes. Okay. So here around we are getting around 2 frames per second. Yeah. So that's what I would like to highlight here. So if you choose an external graphics card to complement your compute, in the same case you are getting around 41-42 frames per second. Whereas if you go for pure CPU, you are getting 1 or 2 frames per second. Now imagine this is a server you are hosting in a hospital where doctors from various divisions are submitting their request to this model. Then this is the performance you will get with just CPU. Whereas if you want to really accelerate that, you need a graphics card. And that's where graphics card along with QAI makes a perfect case on top of QNAP NAS for writing your AI application. And last but not least, I would like to conclude with a summary. So let's see what we have seen so far. We have seen what is AI, we have seen what is QAI platform and how you can quickly install it. We have seen why QNAP NAS is ideal device for for AI. Then we have seen various business opportunities that you can have around AI on top of or with help of QNAP and IEI product lines. I would like to conclude with this slide, and this slide explains the three important characteristics for any AI application or AI subsystem. First is cost, right? Uh, the cost has to be optimal. It's not like you are writing an AI application, so you need to pay more, right? The latency, you need to have as less latency as it can be. And third is privacy, because privacy is of paramount importance that we have seen. With QNAP and IEI, we are committed to bring you no compromise AI solutions, which will satisfy all these three criteria, which will bring in you the products with the best cost that is possible in the market, the best available latency that you can get, and the maximum privacy that is required for your solutions. Thus, I am pretty sure that our products will definitely make definitely play important role in bringing you more business. And I'm pretty sure you will enjoy using our QAI solution with a lot of QNAP and IEI products. Don, you have any ending lines?
Yeah, I believe everyone in this room will be, for sure, the IEI and the QNAP are already ready to facing the coming AI demands. So please don't distract. Just if you have any questions, just feel free and let us know. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Apple and Don. Now we're going to take a break. We have some coffee and refreshment. Please feel free to enjoy. We're going back here to the new product launch at 4. So thank you, and we'll see you at 4 here.
Thank you.
Do you still keep the USB stick I gave you yesterday?
Oh, media. Okay. I need to check. It must be.
Yeah.
Because I remember you gave me.
Yeah.
And I remember I did not give you back. So it must be there. But give me some time. I will check.
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah. Thanks.
I think you can.
Yeah, it's my
Pinky.
right? Yes.
Thank you.